Before renting an apartment, students check security and electricity in person. But now, quality check turns online, and students feel they have to take a leap of faith. With class registration this week, CSAR shows the mode of teaching. But it's not clear if professors will provide asynchronous flexibility for students in different time zones. She found #COVID break hearts, a decal you can put on your window and share on social media. While some international students are excited to be in the central time zone, not everyone is back at school. Good morning, Joey and Nolan. Office of Provost suggests students talk to their professors, academic advisors, and department heads if they have a specific issue with their classes. For general concerns, both ASG and Office of Provost said they're open for suggestions. Back to you. Trump administration expected to vaccinate 20 million Americans by January 1st, but it took until January 24th, 3 weeks later, to meet that goal. Hi, I'm NNN's Hannah Jiang and have this week's top stories. You're watching Newsflash. More than a year since the first local COVID cases, Evanstonians mourn for the city's loss. Hannah Jiang, Northwestern News Network. When it should be time to sleep, some international students are just starting their day. Amy Ouyang has class from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. every Saturday. In Chicago, that's 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Friday afternoon.
After class ends, it's around 6 a.m. and people are moving around in the city. And I could even hear people talking. I have to, change to pajamas and, wash my face, brush my teeth, and go to bed at 7.
Ouyang says her professor refused to record lectures.
I think he kind of expects a lively discussion. He basically said, if you have to take it in this format, then probably I wouldn't be willing to have you in the class.
She decided not to change classes because time zones limit course options.
We found out that there is really no other classes besides this one that's gonna fit in my schedule. So,
with class registration this week, CSAR shows the mode of teaching. But it's not clear if professors will provide asynchronous flexibility for students in different time zones.
Whether or not they're synchronous, asynchronous, hybrid, it's a little hard to navigate because a lot of professors are posted as synchronous, but you can take it asynchronously.
Other students say they're frustrated to find synchronous exams in asynchronous classes.
When it comes to actual exam time, students have to take the exam at a specific time with the rest of their classmates.
A week before winter quarter, the ASG Academic Committee sending letters to deans and professors to suggest offering 2 exam times and broader office hours.
Really, the only responses that I've been getting have been from professors directly, just saying, this is really helpful, thank you. Nothing like we are using this specific point that you brought up.
With spring quarter approaching, Associate Provost Miriam Sherin says remote classes will probably look the same.
Spring quarter is probably going to look a lot like winter quarter. Once a class is set and the time is set, the faculty member isn't required to change the time of a class or an exam. And we understand that's really difficult, so we're hoping students really look carefully when they are registering for a class.
International students calling for attention.
We are somehow forced in these unfortunate situations. So I think that maybe at least have some sympathy for international students.
Reporting from China's Standard Time Zone, Hannah Jiang, Northwestern News Network. Cynthia Ferenga's mom, Dolores R. Ferenga, died in October due to COVID-19. They shared their last moments over a nurse's phone.
She called back and said, I think your mom has about 10 minutes. And she held the phone to my mom's ear for her last minutes. My mom she didn't say anything. I was, talking and crying.
Ferenga's sadness is shared. The city of Evanston records almost 4,000 total cases and 110 deaths since the start of the pandemic.
Because it just wasn't necessary. That's just what kills me. These deaths, some of them were inevitable, but a lot of them weren't.
Ferenga wants permanent memorial for local victims. She found #COVID break hearts, a decal you can put on your window and share on social media.
So that people who see it would reflect on how it came to this. How did it get to be this point?
Many responding with support under her Facebook post.
Somebody will post that they're struggling with something and they need help. And people really, really do provide the help.
Patti Waldmeir says she now checks on her neighbors over phone calls.
Now I have a real relationship with these people, even though I have never met any of them.
Columns of light in the sky, honoring Evanston residents who passed away due to COVID-19. Hannah Jiang, Northwestern News Network. Finding the perfect off-campus apartment can be time-consuming.
It felt like another class almost in terms of time commitment and stress to try to find a place.
But in a pandemic, new problems arise. Before renting an apartment, students check security and electricity in person. But now, quality check turns online, and students feel they have to take a leap of faith.
It's really hard to get a whole picture of what a house looks like over FaceTime. The landlord obviously controls where the camera's pointed.
Homebase NU is a student project that examines housing resources. In a survey, they ask about the class of 2022's rental experience. 25 out of 48 responses express concern with online tours, but some students still choose to rent.
We're very desperate and we had no options, so we just decided that was good enough.
Students say there isn't a centralized system where they can easily find apartments.
One of the main ways people would find out about new listings was through friends or people in class, just discussing where they're living. Potentially their lease is up and they're looking to pass it down to someone. So that's much more difficult this year.
Overcoming pandemic challenges, finding a new place to call home. Hannah Jiang, Northwestern News Network.